Hey, Mountain Vista. This is a special invitation video to you. I have two things I want to tell you about. The first one is called Thanksgiving and Receiving. It's going to happen Wednesday, November 25th, the day before Thanksgiving, and your pastoral care team is going to be hosting a special Zoom event. The event is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and we invite you to bring your dinner or your dessert and just join others from the Mountain Vista community who want to eat together. When you arrive, you'll be invited to share something that you are grateful for or something that you are creating in your life. And the rest of us just get to watch you and learn more about you and get to experience who you are. So I hope you'll join us. It's a good celebration. The second invitation is that our pastoral care team is working with the Mountain Vista Men's Group to do a special delivery in honor of the day of Thanksgiving and Receiving. So, if you know someone or if you identify as someone who has been stuck at home this Thanksgiving, or maybe has just had a rough few months, or if you are just feeling tired of being alone, the men's group and pastoral care would like to deliver you a special treat on Wednesday, November 25th, as part of our special day of Thanksgiving and Receiving. And if it sounds mysterious, it is because I am trying to entice you. So please email pastoral care or me with your name or the name of the person you love and who you know could use a special delivery before Friday, November 20th. Now for the rest of this video, I want to share more with you from the pastoral care team. You'll get to hear from some of them about what it means to become a people who know how to give and receive love and care. So I hope you settle in and hear their voices and see their faces, and I hope that it inspires you to reach out to us. Be well and know that you are loved.
The memory that flashed into my mind is from last Sunday's fellowship. I took a turn to speak. It was in answer to the question, I think, of how are you? How are you? How are you feeling? And I said, I'm feeling tired out. I feel very much worn down by my hopes and fears about the election and our country. Um, the mic was shifted to Michelle, and she said, Sue, I want you to know that if you're feeling tired, then it's up to me and people like me to stand beside you, to be with you and care for you. And I that was so beautiful, so lovely, so generous, and so totally unexpected that I just melted into tears.
Mm. I've had COVID-19 for the last 2 months. And during this time, I have really gotten a sense. One of the takeaways for me is how really fragile life is and how really important that essence in us, that core self that we are is, and figuring out how I want to live from that place. And one of the people who brought me something one time was so filled with joy. They were just like, they were love and joy and giving itself. They said that doing that gave them purpose for their day and that they had a direction and a thing that they had to get accomplished that day, and how wonderful that felt to them, and just how good it felt for them to be useful again. And so when they were outside my window, because I don't open my door to people because I don't want to get anybody sick, they were outside my window and they said, I'm sorry you can't hear me, or, I'm not communicating very well. And I thought, are you serious? because there was like this massive communication of their heart to my heart and their being to my being. And so, one of the things that I'm learning about this is something that I don't actually know much about, is like how to live in that space more and more often. This kind of vulnerable giving and receiving, and knowing that they're both equally important. And it's hard to know who the giver is sometimes and who the receiver is.
Well, I think one of the best gifts that we can give, or I can give, is the gift of listening. And I'm talking about listening to my own body, my own heart, and listening to what others are saying. And sometimes we need to find fresh ears. We may be telling our story over and over to the people that we live with or our neighbors or whatever, and the story is getting old to them, and they just need to find fresh ears.
My moment of giving that I'm so or receiving, my moment of receiving is still with me. I have just epic amounts of Tupperware and I have coolers of things that were given to me when I was pregnant with Joy, and food would just show up in my house so that I could feel nourished and loved and cared for. And I've never received in my life so much.
I would say that what happens in the pastoral care meetings, for me at least, is that my heart gets filled. And so it's like a pitcher that gets full of really tenderness, caring, love for people in our community. And that we kind of spark that in each other. And so as we get filled, then it is a natural extension to pass it on to people in our congregation, and to also hold people in our congregation in that kind of atmosphere. And so people might think that the pastoral care is actually here to serve the congregation without knowing how much we are served by having this process of opening our hearts to ourselves and to each other on the committee, and then to the congregation.